So their SI is actually called their aspiration function. In some other videos I was saying it was a third function, but it's kind of true and kind of not, because you really, actually the thing is that they put out their third function out there, you know? So they are striving with it, especially. But anyway, yeah, they like SI. And also, you know, sometimes they'll be like super polite, and sometimes they won't be at all. Yeah. So, going on to their NI. NI is their introverted intuition, and that is always in the background, and they're suppressing it when they're using NE. So NI has to do with what's going on under the surface, and it has to do with like symbolism, that sort of thing. It's connecting, it's observing, being very observant of what's happening underneath the surface, and of being able to connect the dots and detect patterns in that way, in that sense. Of course, they always have it in the background, but they're really more interested in NE. I wish I could say, well, I've known some younger ENTPs and also some that are not so young, and I can say that the older ones have more NI, but most of the ENTPs that I have known aren't young, and so I can't really compare it. But I mean, I can feel that NI there under the surface, and they're watching you even when they don't seem to be watching you, and it's not as strong as like what you feel from an INFJ for sure, but I can see it there. I can feel it now that I'm thinking about it. I think that is about, I think that, you know, the more you mature, the more you're able to tune into that, and that is what I was trying to examine in my mind to see if that was true or not. Yeah. So we already talked about TE. I think we already pretty much talked about TE. So that is their fifth function. Their sixth function, the FI, we also talked about that. It's almost not there. It's not that it's not there, but it's like not very accessible to them. So going on to SE. Now FI was their seventh function, is their seventh function, and SE is their eighth function. So SE, it has to do with assertiveness / aggressiveness. It also has to do with interacting with the physical world, appreciation of aesthetics, that sort of thing. They are only okay at it, but this is what they put out there. On this other channel, was calling it their service to the world. You know, just to show that you are, you know, giving people, trying to get along. Also, it can be used also as a buffer between you and the rest of the world, which you definitely see them doing. They will use this in, you see, ENFPs will get really, in this country anyway, they will go out of the way like to contact you or come over to you, and they'll do all this physical stuff. They'll get really huggy and everything. ENTPs will do it more in an intellectual way, and they'll do things like they'll use their SE also to like provoke people into changing. This is one of the things that they'll do, and that is kind of how they kind of overlap with me on the seventh thing, because I have the humor in that, and that I will kind of try to you know, motivate people to think about things and the way they do things and how things actually are and everything. And you know, everybody's heard about them. I don't know why I never can remember this word. I have R in my mind, but it's the people that are like kind of heckling on the internet or whatever. They kind of are known for that. So in an ENTP's subconscious, you have the ISFJ, and and vice versa. In the ENTP's unconscious, you have the INTJ, and in their superego, you have the ESFP. Just in case you're wondering. Oh, and this is something else. I was texting with an ENTP, and he, I'm used to ESTP. I mean, like, that's the one that I've been around the most, right? And so, I've been grown up with and seen over grown up with and seen over the most, number of years and everything. So, I'm the most familiar with the ESTP. And ESTPs, they play pretty rough, shall we say. And I'm used to that. I'm used to that SE game. I know all about it. And so when the ENTPs first meet you, they do that because, that's their being friendly thing. Kind of like an INFJ. Like, to begin with, we'll be like super polite with you and everything. But then once we know you, then we won't be like putting that on so much because it's not really what we're about. We're just doing it because we know it matters to other people. You know what I'm saying? And this is the same way that it is with ENTPs and SE. So he had this to begin with, and we were joking on this kind of, vibe, and I was interacting him on this kind of vibe, and then he apparently decided that I was a nice person, and it suddenly disappeared, and it was not there anymore, and he wasn't putting it out there anymore, and I was still doing it because I'm just, okay, this is the way it is, so this is the way we're doing it. Okay, fine, I know about this game, and I just kept doing it, but he wasn't anymore. And so I looked mean after a few minutes, and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? I don't know, that just always stands out in my mind. So yeah, that's the thing with the ENTPs, is that they're not really good for SE majorly. It's just kind of something they put on and stuff, but it's not really what they're about. Is there anything else I had in there? Yeah, I have noticed this also about them. Maybe it's, I don't know why, but I have especially noticed, it could be, maybe it's an extroverted thing, maybe it's an SE thing. I'm not sure what it is, but I heard about this one ENTP, and he was like starting fights and stuff. And one time somebody actually went and got him, and he had to like have surgery and stuff on his, face. And I mean, he was okay, but I mean, but anyway, he had always said that he had to run into a brick wall, to be able to stop a behavior or whatever. He had to run into a brick wall. And about that whole situation, he always say, that is the best thing, that was just great, like that's the best thing that ever happened to me. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like from my standpoint, it's like, but every personality type is different. I am going to put that down to personality because I have noticed that about ENTPs and ENFPs, and I think maybe I've seen about ESFPs and ESTPs too. Maybe it's an extroverted tendency, I don't know, but well, SE has to do with experiencing things, so it could be an SE thing, but it doesn't matter if you tell them about it ahead of time, and I'm sure that they can mature and grow and offset this somehow. I mean, I'm sure that God can help you with this, but because we all have something, but they literally have to experience something before they know it, which I also have in some ways, but it's usually about something good about myself. Like, I won't believe something good about myself, like I won't connect until I experience something with somebody else that they see that or something, and then I know it. It's kind of interesting. So I mean, I kind of do the same thing, but not, because I guess they're probably both bad things, But I mean, oh my gosh, you know, like, to me, there seems like really, I can't really imagine it, you know, because it's like, there's advice and everything, like, follow advice, you know, and saying somebody else has been through something, or just like listen to it. Why do you have to go to that extreme to like have something that strong happen? But I mean, I guess psychologically, what I experienced for like not believing something good is also, maybe that seems very extreme to them, I don't know. But anyway, I mean, it's just so interesting how all the different types, you know, like some things come really naturally to them and some things do not, and how we're all different. So I think that I have actually exhausted all my notes, and I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope it has opened your eyes more to the ENTPs around you, understanding them a little bit better, maybe having some more questions, having something new to think about. ENTPs are very clever, and in a bad sense you could say that they are sneaky. It's a skill, it's a gift that could be, you know, for a good or a bad thing. They definitely have a skill in this area. So if you figure out that an ENTP around you has some motives that might not be to your benefit, then you may need to be especially careful. Did I say that very diplomatically? Yeah. They are good with people. They are good with people. And I'll say ESTP is the same thing. They are very good at being persuasive and at guiding you in thinking a certain way, guiding you down a certain path. Yeah. They're very clever. I mean, I admire them, and I enjoy being around them. You know, they're extroverts. It's nice. You know, you kind of feel relaxed around them because, you know, as introverts, we seem calm because we're trying to calm ourselves, because we're just like in danger of being overstimulated, whereas the extroverts are like in danger of being too calm, and so that's why they're trying to, you know, do all this stuff to get themselves worked up. So yeah, I mean, they're pretty relaxing to be around. They're pretty easygoing. They're very inventive. It's always interesting what they're talking about. They're very creative. It's very interesting because you can hear so many different perspectives from them, and they're very clever. They're very, like the ENFPs, you know, they're very good at coming up with very creative solutions to things. And like I said before, I mean, they're just like an incredible hybrid between the people thing and the systems thing that, you know, I'm very impressed by, and I mean, I think they're cool. So I think all of the types are cool in their own way. But anyway, there you have it. That is my ENTP video that at long last I have made. Thank you for watching. Now I'll be back sometime. I don't know which one I'm going to do next. Possibly ESTJ. I haven't done ESTJ yet. That's the most different to mine. But we might be able to make it happen. We'll see. Alright.